Welcome to tonight's training. My name is Skylar, last name's Fishback. It's been a couple months since I brought a training back out onto YouTube, but I think things are moving, they're shaking, but more importantly, there's a lot of different auctions that are happening right now, both on the tax lien side and then also on the tax deed side. And if you're fortunate enough to live down in Texas or Georgia, we've got a lot of different redemption deed auctions coming up as well. So I just wanted to do a quick little getting started webinar for our followers. Again, this is going to go on our website at taxsaleinvestors.com. You'll hear me drop that a few times throughout today's presentation. It is our data solution that we provide for our investors on top of additional training as well. So let's jump into this though. I don't want to spend a ton of time going through too much stuff that's not really important, but here we go. Again, Skylar Fishback. I'm a full-time investor. My partner Brian Christensen, he's not on the call here with us tonight, but he does some of our trainings as well. Tax sale lists, taxsaleinvestors.com, who we are. We're a data provider. We provide subscription services to investors all across the world that allow them to access information quickly, but more importantly, in one central location where you can see what counties are having auctions, when they're having auctions, but then you're able to download those tax sale lists from one central location. We also provide state-by-state guides. Like I said before, we have an education center. Toward the end of this, you'll see the link to our education center, but if you just go to taxsaleinvestors.com, we've opened up our profile map to the public, so you can have access to that for free for a couple months. I think it's a great place to go. Kind of get an idea of where you want to invest. We're going to talk about determining what we call your investor profile or your acquisition strategy, contingent on your bank account and what your overall objective is. The cool thing about liens and deeds is, and tax sales is you can do property acquisition, but you can also do high rate return or more of a passive type of return as well. So we do provide acquisition support on a one-by-one basis as well. If you're interested in that, let me know. And then we also have a hotline and email support. And then we're implementing what we call our property portal here in just a titch. That is going to be where our students can actually submit deals, and then our staff can go over, we can look at them, analyze them for you, kind of give you what we think is an accurate description and or maximum bid if it's a deed and or a lien. So let's keep going here. Why invest in tax sales? Just a few of the benefits for lien and deed investing. Number one, it's secured by a physical asset. That's number one. Many individuals are completely unaware of what their money is secured by when they invest. It's hard to beat the security of a physical structure and land and or land. For me, again, we're going to talk tax sales versus some of the other type of investment vehicles that are out there. But in my opinion, if you are a high rate return type of investor, great thing about tax sales, tax liens specifically, is that they are secured or backed by a physical asset. It just helps me to know that there's actually, again, a physical asset or structure, something tangible behind that lien as an asset or as a collateral, if you will. Above average returns, depending on what state you're investing in, tax liens and deeds can offer returns that may far exceed what most investors achieve for an ROI. The ability to invest online. This is the coolest part of this. I started in tax sales about 8-9 years ago. Internet was obviously around 8-9 years ago, but more importantly, we didn't have the resources that we have now. Most counties now are getting pretty tech savvy, believe it or not. There is still some counties out there that don't have even a parcel ID search tool, which is necessary for us to conduct the proper due diligence we need to do without physically being there to see these properties. So it's a pretty cool little deal. Tonight, I'm going to show you how to we'll do a couple quick live, maybe parcel ID searches for you guys, but more importantly, what I wanted to get across tonight in tonight's webinar is primarily getting you excited about tax sales, but then seeing some of the live county research out there, some of the deals that are coming, and some of the auctions that are coming as well. So a source for undervalued property, that's another big one right there. I guess let's just read that. In today's competitive real estate market, being able to locate undervalued opportunities can prove to be more challenging than in the past. Liens and deeds can be a great alternative source for finding good deals. Okay. Again, what are tax liens and deeds? Understanding the difference between tax lien certificates and tax deeds. The easiest way for me to describe this, or to, train you on this one, would just kind of look at it on the most simplest basis. Why do we have taxes? Everybody has taxes. Everybody has to pay taxes. So there's different what we call enforcement systems in the United States that allows the county jurisdictions to collect their taxes. And so it's usually mandated on a state level. There's some counties within states that do things a little bit differently. Florida's the wild, wild west still when it comes to everything. Opportunity, deals, properties. We're killing it right now down in Florida. But the tax lien system. So there's a tax lien collection system or enforcement system. There's a tax deed system, and there's also a redemption deed system. Now tonight I'm not going to spend a ton of time going over the redemption deed system just because it's a hybrid of the both really. There's property ownership rights there, but there's some contingencies. You definitely have a redemption period there, but we'll again I'll probably just do a separate webinar on redemption deeds because again it's a great way to invest, don't get me wrong. Texas is fantastic, as well as Georgia, and there's a couple other states out there. So let's get you started here with tax sales. These are the steps that I put together to kind of basically help you really get started, but more importantly, kind of give you a structure or an implementation plan, if you will, on really what to do. Because this game can be crazy, it can be wild, and it can be confusing. But my job and what I love to do is take confusing topics, confusing things, and try to make them simple. I guess that's the teacher in me. So, number one, determine your strategy. This is the biggest one: tax liens or tax deeds. The easiest or the most simple way to break this down is the type of income or the type of returns you're looking to get. Is your model more of a passive type investor where you'd like to buy maybe a tax lien? A couple of them. Are you leveraging an IRA? Which, by the way, you have the ability to invest with truly self-directed IRAs. If you have questions about that, definitely contact my office, and myself or my staff can go through and point you in the right direction there. In fact, I'm coming up on I'll be speaking at the Equity Trust event coming up at the end of this year. So if you're out in Florida, I think that's going to be in Orlando. And if you don't have, like I said, I can't emphasize this enough. Get a self-directed IRA. I don't care how old you are, and really start building a business within it. You won't regret it. Determine your state and county. This is where I said go to taxsaleinvestors.com, click on state profile map. You'll be able to determine what your state is if you're looking to stay in your backyard. But again, if you're a novice to real estate, if you're a novice to investing, I used to say definitely stick into your backyard. Don't go too far. But more importantly, what we've developed is a system that allows you to, really acquire property without really seeing it, knowing that you've crossed your, T's and dotted your I's and you've done your due diligence, and then be able to sell those properties quickly. And so the key to that, again, is you'll see here in just a second, it's all about acquiring these properties low enough to where we can sell them low enough to the next investor. I call that wholesale 101, but that's what tax deeds can do for us and do for us. So finding upcoming auctions and acquire tax sale lists. Again, pre-auction or post-auction, you see it says OTC there. That stands for over the counter. Those are any of the tax liens, deeds that didn't sell at the auction that the county has on their books, and you can actually acquire those directly from the county, more likely than not for what's owed in delinquent taxes. So tax deed, you're going to pay a little bit more, but the cool thing about it, buying a tax lien over the counter, which I was in, where did we go? I think it was Flagler, Florida. Flagler County had over 1,800 tax liens over the counter available for immediate purchase at 18%. That's a good gig. That's a good deal. Determining the appropriate tax lien, there's definitely some rules we want you to follow, and we'll get you into that here in just a minute. Locating and evaluating deals, your research and your due diligence process. This is really understanding and how to leverage the internet. There's so many resources out there. Again, you heard me mention earlier the parcel ID search tool. That's a big one. And we have Zillow, Trulia, Google Maps. We're able to get an idea, is the easiest way for me to put this. We're able to get an idea of the type of properties that we're looking at on the computer, but it doesn't necessarily always give us the most accurate pictures of the property. So again, this in and of itself, locating and evaluating deals, this could be a whole webinar again in and of itself because of the due diligence that's required. So again, I don't want anybody to think that this is get rich quick. It definitely isn't. I guess the most time intensive part of this business is your research. So if you're a data geek like I secretly am, then you'll be okay. If you're not, doesn't mean that you can't do it. It's just learn it, figure it out, and then duplicate it. We've got so many opportunities out there. In fact, I've got on a daily basis of, 4 to 5 assistants that work for me over in India, and so I'm able to leverage them and their expertise in terms of data entry and data research so I can spend my time really determining what deals I want to buy for me and my guys. So pulling the trigger, this is the big one. Can't tell you how many students I've worked with in the past where, we get them all excited to get down to the end of the research process. They even secure their deposit. Then come the day of the auction, they for some reason just can't pull the trigger. So this is a big one. You need to be confident and then have the ability to pull the trigger and then know how to bid. Every auction platform out there is a titch different. But yeah, so we'll get into this here in just a second. So pull the trigger, bidding at auctions, purchasing, and payment options. Now, there's a few counties out there that will let you use credit cards to purchase liens and deeds. It's a great, great little system. It's the old school OPM. Okay, so let's jump into this again. Definition of a tax lien. In law, a lien is a form of security interest granted over an item of property to secure the payment of a debt or performance of some other obligation. Naturally, I pulled this off of Wikipedia. Okay, so again, in law, a lien is a form of security interest granted over an item of property to secure the payment of debt or performance of some other obligation. So the lien is the vehicle that is used to secure the debt, basically. Okay. Types of liens. There's different types of liens out there. Probably the most prevalent would be a mechanic's lien. Obviously, our mortgage, first mortgage or a second mortgage. If you were to default on your mortgage, that's when the bank can come in and foreclose on you. Dirty little HOA. Careful, guys. Especially if you're digging Florida like we are. The HOAs they can just be nasty. Somehow they're able to litigate after acquisition. I'm trying to figure out how. I've got a couple of attorneys that are supposed to be calling me back, but watch out for the HOA, and then obviously a tax lien. Cute little smiley face there. Okay. Tax lien certificates. Remember, the easiest, I guess, rule of thumb with a tax lien is remember, you're not, here, let's just read this. In a tax lien sale, it is not the property that is being sold, but rather the debt for unpaid taxes. While the lien does not grant full ownership rights to the property, it does provide the investor with two things. Number one, the right to receive interest if the lien is paid off by the delinquent property owner. Number two, the right to foreclose and take title to the property if the lien is not paid. This is another big one. I don't know if you remember a few years ago, those infomercials on late night TV where, those crazy guys with the hair, they get up there and they'd say, I picked up properties pennies on the dollar. And this is how they did it. But the chances or the likelihood, when you buy liens the way we teach you how to buy liens, we want them to redeem. We want the delinquent property owner to pay. Can you shift your strategy in a way where you can increase your chances of foreclosing on a tax lien? You bet. But if you're looking to do property acquisition, there's just way too much opportunity in the tax deed system for you to overlook that as well. So in a tax lien system, the county will sell only the right to the tax lien, tax claim on the real property. Again, the county needs this money, and we're going to talk about how this works, and I'm going to break it down here in just a minute. Okay, tax lien certificates equal passive income. Okay, I wanted to kind of break this down. If you've seen a couple of our other videos, I do the same example, but I think this is a great way for me to get slapped in the face again and realize the benefit behind the liens. Savings accounts right now are paying anywhere between 0.5 to 2% on your money. CD stands for certificate of deposit. I think it's really more of a certificate of disappointment at 1.75. We got stocks, bonds, and mutual funds coming in right now between 6 and 12%, which still isn't bad, but again, it's volatile. Tax lien certificates, TLCs, 10 to 25% guaranteed, backed by or collateralized by real property, or you get a free and clear piece of property. Okay, so the cool thing is again, they're safe, they're secure. It's a way for you to gain interest, but it's also a way for you to secure your money, again, with a physical asset. That's what I love about real estate. How to purchase tax liens. Okay, there's two ways that you can purchase tax lien certificates. I mentioned them just earlier a little bit, but purchase at auction, online or in person. This is where you bid down the interest rate, or they can do what's called a round robin style. Round robin would be a standard auction would be like if it was an online auction like eBay. You're just bidding against each other. Bidding down that interest rate. Whoever's willing to take the lowest interest on that lien is the winning bidder. So if it's Arizona at 16%, and you're at an auction and you're bidding on that lien, it might get, I mean, sometimes they get bid all the way down to 2%, 1%. Sometimes I've even seen them down in Florida down to 1/4%. So again, there is competition out there, especially on the lien side. But again, I would really more go on the over-the-counter side, which is number two, which is purchase them directly from the counter, okay, or directly from the county. So there's no competition over the counter. Not every county has over-the-counter lists available, but there's, I'll tell you who to talk to within the county, where to go, and how to look for them. But again, if you just swing over to taxsaleinvestors.com, we have all the over-the-counter lists available for our students. So maximum interest rate is offered. Cool thing about this, you're going to hear me talk a lot about Florida, both on the deed and lien side. Huge advocate there. Excuse me. Yeah, so your maximum interest rate is offered. Cool thing about Florida, they're at 18%, but they also pay what's called a 2%. Oh man, it's getting late. I think it's a 3%, 2 or 3%. Don't quote me on that. 2 or 3% prepayment penalty, which means that regardless of when that investor or when that delinquent property owner pays their taxes, you get an additional 2 points on your money. So it's actually like 20%. It's pretty cool. Okay. All right. So let's kind of break this down. I should have put this a little bit different, but that's okay. I didn't know how to do the animations on this new computer. Let's call the property owner Peter in this example, okay? We have Peter, the property owner. Don't care where in the United States you live, really pretty much anywhere in the world, we have property taxes. So Peter's got to pay his property taxes. Takes his money down to the county. Most of them are called counties. If you're out there on the East Coast, up in Jersey area, you're going to call them townships, or there's parishes. This might be some Pennsylvania action in here. But again, the point of this slide is just to show you that the county's a business, and the county's going to do whatever they can do to collect their taxes. The county needs this money, and what the county needs this money for is the upkeep of their community. Parks aren't free, schooling isn't free, and I don't know if you, no one likes to drive on potholes unless you're in Alaska. Then it's just standard. But the school system, this one hits home for me. I've got two beautiful daughters, McKenna and Chloe, 9 and 6. Right now, they're in school. Where's the quality of education in the public school system? Most people say in the toilet. When I used to travel as a national trainer on the circuit, it's I could see it prevalent nationwide. So anyways, that's a tough topic for me. Let's keep going. All right, so I'm going to break this down for you. Again, I should have been able to put in some animations for my animators, but let's jump into this. So the property owners have a redemption period, okay, to pay their taxes, the interest the county's offering the investor, any penalties and any fees associated with them being delinquent. Okay. Now this redemption period, it's going to range anywhere between 6 months out as far as sometimes 5 years, contingent on the tax sale enforcement system, and then also again if it's a lien auction or if it's a deed auction. Okay, so what happens in this scenario is that when Peter, the property owner, decides to buck up, pay his taxes, he's tired of being delinquent, he's going to go down to the county, he's going to pay all of that. The county is going to take his money, going to say, thanks, you got another year, 2 years in your house, whatever. And then what the county's going to do, the county has taxes, interest, penalties, and fees. Now the fees are going to be different county to county. County keeps the fees, actually. And then what happens is that once Peter, the property owner, pays the county what's owed in those delinquent taxes, then you, as the investor, you get paid your principal plus high interest plus penalties. Okay, again, it's a great way for you to make money. You sit back, you relax, and you watch your bank account grow. That's what was attractive to me about liens in the beginning, was the simple fact that I could invest in them and then have that compounding interest continue to grow, not look at it as income and look at it as more of a long-term passive type retirement account. Okay. Two possible outcomes with a tax lien certificate. Number one, you're going to get a check from the county for principal, interest, penalties for 10 to 25%. Is there states out there? I try to stay away from the 50% rate of return because that is Texas. But again, the likelihood, does it happen? Yes. But again, let's try to keep this real. 10 to 25%. Number two, outcome with a tax lien certificate is a tax lien gives the lien holder the right to foreclose on the property. Okay. The lien gives the lien holder the right to foreclose on the property. Again, remember what the lien was? It's the liaison. It's the vehicle that's used to secure that interest in the property. So, Statute first position lien. This is important to understand. Regardless of any other liens on a property, the tax lien certificate is going to take precedent. So what this says here, Tax Code 32.05b states that the tax lien takes priority over the claim of any person whose property is encumbered by the tax lien and over the claim of any holder of the lien on the property, whether or not the lien existed before the attachment of the tax lien. Okay, I'm not going to read that again, but I will leave it up there for you. I'd say pause the video if you need to, but this is important to know. Again, the tax lien takes precedence. Tax lien certificates will always be in what's called first position. This is huge. Okay, first position. Yes, above any other lien holders on the property, mortgages included. Tax foreclosures. This is important to understand as well. So this is kind of the foreclosure process that you go through to secure your right, or if you wanted to foreclose on the property. There's two different types. Lien holders on the property, including any of their mortgages, first or second. So let's say Bank of America would be notified via certified mail. Now, you're asking yourself, well, why wouldn't the bank step up and pay during the delinquency? Because any other lien holders are notified just as many times as the current property owner from the county that they need to buck up and pay their taxes, or they risk losing their house. Okay, so there could be the bank, the owner, and then, like I said, any other lien holders. The foreclosure type depends on the county and the state, and the two different types of foreclosures in this realm are going to be judicial or non-judicial. And the timeline to secure, again, your property, if and when they don't pay, is within 30 to 120 days, contingent on this right here, the judicial or non-judicial. Okay, let's jump right into here to tax deeds. This is my favorite side of tax sales because again, this is property acquisition, and I love good deals. So rather than the interest rate in a tax lien getting bid down, with a tax deed, the price gets bid up. Tax deeds, sometimes called sheriff's deed sales, are sales of property in which the county, the city, or other taxing district forecloses on a property for failure to pay taxes. Number two, this allows an investor to buy the property for often as little as what's owed in delinquent taxes. Some states do set a minimum bid for properties in addition to the taxes owed. You'll see that Cali's pretty popular for doing that. But for the most part, you'll see an opening bid for what's owed in delinquent taxes. I haven't done any trainings yet on. I mean, we do overages. But I haven't recorded any videos on overages because from the outside looking in, they are sexy. They're a great way for you to get some income, but it's just the same amount of time and energy you put into researching the right liens and deeds. You can still get the same type of returns. So again, overages is the amount of money the property gets bid up to over what's owed in taxes, and the county technically is not owed to that. For example, let's say we have a property that owed $10,000 in delinquent taxes. That property gets bid up to, let's say, $50,000. That's what it sells for at the auction. That's $40,000 in overages. That is technically due to the previous homeowner, not the county. So don't want to confuse you, but wanted to hint on that just real quick. Rather than the interest rate getting bid down, as with a tax lien in a tax deed sale, the purchase price gets bid up. Okay, pretty simple, guys. I'm trying to make this just up and down. You got an arrow right there. Okay. The additional bidding types. This is kind of important. Well, not really important because I don't spend a ton of time in here other than, bid down ownership. We'll talk about that. These are the different styles of bidding that are out there. Premium bidding. Under this method, the investor is willing to pay the highest premium or excess above the lien amount. They will be the winner. The premium may or may not earn interest. This is important to understand. Whoops. Let's go back. The premium may or may not earn interest, and the may or may not be paid back to the investor upon the redemption of the lien. Colorado is a state known to use this bidding method, and that is true. Stay away from those states. Unless you're in their backyard, then we can spend some time working with you on those. Random selection. Under this method, a bidder will be randomly selected from those offering a bid. Usually a computer is used to make the selection, but in a smaller jurisdiction, more rudimentary methods may be used. Nevada uses a random selection since it is supposed to be the first buyer, but it is hard to determine who was the first person to the sale. So again, that would just be, let's say we wanted to buy some liens. You wouldn't be bidding against everybody or that competition. They would just say, hey, there's 20 people here that are bidding at the auction. This doesn't happen online, by the way. This happens most of the time in person, and then they just go around. So it's kind of like the round robin I was telling you, where they just say, okay, number 17, you have the option to buy a tax lien certificate number da 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 da. Rotational selection, similar to random selection, and then bid down the ownership. This is a nightmare. This is Utah is also included in this. This is where I live, and rather than them bidding up the premium or bidding up the property in price, and Utah being a tax deed state, what happens here is they bid down the ownership, meaning that the winning bidder is the person who's willing to take the less amount of ownership in that property. Um, let's just read this right here. Few other states, the investor is willing to purchase the lien and or deed for the lowest percent of encumbrance on the property will be awarded the lien, like I just said. For example, a bidder may agree to take a lien at only 95% of the property. If the lien is not redeemed, the investor would only receive 90% ownership of the property, with the remaining 5% owned by the original owner. It's just tricky. Can it be done? Yeah. I don't know why they do this. I think these are some of the states that really cater to homeowners. But yeah, it's 2014. I don't know why we're still messing around with this stuff. So let's talk about a tax deed foreclosure. The county begins the redemption period. Okay, with the redemption period, reminder, redemption period is the time the homeowner or delinquent property owner has to pay back that property taxes before there's going to be some consequences. Okay, so the county begins the redemption period in a tax deed foreclosure state the day the property owner becomes delinquent. And usually, so again, what's going to happen in a tax, here we go, let's just read it. Rather than the county trying to collect past due taxes by selling a lien to investors, they wait until the redemption period has expired, initiate foreclosure, and a tax deed is created. Then the tax deed is sold at public auction to the highest bidder. Okay, so you are actually walking away with a deed to the property. Now, it's not a quick claim, it's not a warranty deed, is really what I should say. Okay, now you can go through, and we highly recommend that you do this. A wholesale deal, and it's contingent on your buyer. But if you're trying to take this property to market, then you are going to have to quiet the title and create a warranty deed. And there's definitely some additional costs in there as well. But again, rental properties or just wholesaling the properties, you're good to go. Tax deed sale, again, cannot stress this enough, means property acquisition. The investor receives a physical tax deed, full ownership rights to the property, highest bidder wins, the ability to bid online from anywhere in the world. You guys, this is huge. Like I said, 8 years ago, there was maybe one or two counties that had online auctions. Now, I mean, there's hundreds of counties that have auctions online. It's fantastic. And great opportunity for cash flow or flip income potential. Okay, so again, these are tax deeds. Here's some recently sold tax deeds that just happened in the last few weeks. Brevard County, one of my favorite counties to invest in. It just shows you, I mean, this isn't anything to write home about, but guess what? People need a few things in this world to survive: food, water, and shelter, just three. So I love the necessity behind this as well. So this house sold for $3,800. The estimated value on it's $28,000. That even could be a double wide, but again, at that price, it's a no-brainer. Duval County, Duval County's Jacksonville, another favorite place to invest. This house sold at auction for 15 grand. Estimated value on this bad boy is about 87,000. Another one here in Brevard County. This one sold for 16,000. Has an estimated value of 87. And this other one right here. Oh, I did see this one. I saw this one too late. I didn't have my deposit in. That's something that we're going to talk about here. I think we should get to it tonight, talking about how to secure your deposit. That is key. That's number one. You've got to secure that deposit in time, or else they will not let you bid. This one, again, sold for 15,000. Values right around 87. Okay, so here's our auction calendar and tax sale list example. So a lot of people are like, well, how do I get started? Where do I go? What do I do? And this is where you go. You can get into taxsaleinvestors.com. We provide this for our students. And like I told you, you come to one central location and we're able to help you kind of pinpoint the auctions that you want and then be able to download those lists directly. And also you're able to see how many parcels are in that specific auction as well. This is one of the old slides I used for, oh shoot, yeah, it's a couple weeks old, but that's okay. You're going to be watching this next year anyways. Wanted to point out a few things on this. Right here, you got the county, you got the state, you got the sale type. Okay, remember sale type is going to be a redemption deed. It's going to be a lien or it's going to be a deed. A secondary type. This is the type of auction that it is. If it's an online auction, it'll let you know right here. If it's a resale, sometimes counties, what they'll do, rather than having an over-the-counter list available, what they'll do is they will actually just offer a resale. And maybe they'll lower their opening bids, or maybe a winning bidder walked away. It's very important as well. That's why those deposits are huge. You've got to deposit, so you don't have to deposit the full purchase price prior to the auction. Usually it's about 5 to 10% of what you plan on bidding. Okay. And the cool thing is right here, see how many parcels? Bang, right here. Wayne, Michigan. Wayne, Michigan's probably, Michigan is huge as well. We've got this Wayne County. This is Detroit. You guys, you've heard me. My students, the guys that are avid, we love Detroit. Right now, you can still pick up properties, pennies on the dollar out there. I just said that, but it's true. We're still picking up, houses out there for 500 to $1,000 bucks. But again, you want to make sure you're getting the right area, and you again have your power team, is what I call them, in that market that you can work with. Okay, so in Wayne County, is a tax deed. You can do it online. Right now, they've got 26,178 parcels available. And then once you get logged in, we get your username and we get you a password. Then you can just click right there, and then you can download the lists in Excel, CSV, or you can download them, or save them in your back office, which is I call your arsenal. Okay. Talk a little bit about taxsaleinvestors.com. Again, you're able to tell your tax sale type: lien deed, redemption deed. At Tax Sale Investors, we have pre-auction or post-auction assignment purchasing, also known as OTCs, available. That auction counter on the previous slide I just showed you, you can download your lists. We have our entire education center, hours and hours of video, step-by-step instruction, state-by-state profile map. Again, I told you this is open to the public for a little bit. Go check it out. Again, hotline support, phone and email, and then obviously we provide acquisition assistance on a case-by-case basis. Here's our snapshot of the website. And let's talk about Wayne County. Okay, upcoming tax deed sale and examples. Wayne County, Michigan. Like I told you, this is in Detroit. You had to have registered for this sale by September 10th. There was a $2,000 minimum deposit required through ACH wire, and then one of my favorites right here, credit card. Again, it's great. You got great credit, you want to leverage them, it's an easy way to do it. $5,000 of bidding on 2 or more properties. Your deposit jumps from 2 to 5. Online bidding begins September 4th. If you're watching this, I know that they will always keep their past auctions up for you, so I definitely write down this link, hyperlink this. I'll try to do it in the YouTube video for you as well. Get over there. See, it's always fun to see what properties sold for, and it's, again, if you were bidding on a property, or if you prepare to bid for a property and it falls within your threshold, there's nothing worse than saying shoulda, coulda, woulda. And that happens a lot in this game, trust me. So again, highest bidder wins. There is proxy bidding available. Okay, now proxy bidding, this is important to understand. It's just like setting a reserve bid on eBay. It really is that easy, guys. Again, do your due diligence, figure them out, call our office, we'll help you, walk you through the process, but you can set a reserve bid or your maximum bid, whichever one you want to do, so you can set it, you can walk away. And then if you hit it, great, and it'll continue to rebid for you up until it reaches that maximum bid you told it to stop at. Like I just said, there's about 26,000 parcels or properties available in Detroit. So research Detroit. I've got a lot of information on Detroit on our Facebook page. Check it out, taxsaleinvestors.com. And then again, we do spend some time out there. So here's a perfect example of what a county list would look like, or tax sale list from Wayne County, Michigan. Okay, so I wanted to point out a few different things here. You'll see this quite often: removed from the auction. All that means is that the previous homeowner or the delinquent homeowner has until the day of the sale sometimes to pay off their property or to pay off their delinquent taxes. And then the property is removed from the auction. Okay, so all you do is find it out. It'll get in tax deed number, opening bid. You've got your address, your street address, Detroit, your zip code. And then you can click on property details right here, and then it'll swing over to a quick little property details section on their county assessor site. And then you just follow our standard 1-2. Copy this, throw it into Zillow, check it out on Zillow. I always do Trulia, you can do homes.com. Get a good idea of what's cracking on this, and then do your Google map, and then keep a spreadsheet. And we have some spreadsheets for our students as well. So with this many parcels, guys, it's amazing how many good deals you're going to be able to find. Okay, so that was Wayne County. We have Sonoma County, California. Sonoma County, California. Right now, Sonoma County, bidforassets.com. This is another auction platform. Use it and abuse it. You guys, this is amazing here. It's also a great platform to sell your properties on. If you're the wholesaler type, then you can buy your properties, sell them here. No reserve bids, they're great. And I can show you some tricks where you can secure at least what you had to pay for the property, how much bites you got. It's a pretty cool little tool. $2,500 deposit due by October 14th. Notice there's no credit card. Okay, Bid for Assets does not let you use a credit card, but they will let you secure through ACH or cash. Bidding begins September 18th. Highest bidder wins. Proxy bidding available. Title reports might be available, and there's 175 parcels available for the Sonoma County, California auction. Okay, some of you are like, well, what the heck? Title reports might be available. Cool thing is contingent on the county and you know how nice they are. They will go through and they'll get a basic title report done on these properties for you. So, and they'll have those they'll have them attached to the parcel that's being sold. I can't remember if Sonoma County has those. If not, either way, check it out. Bidforassets.com. Go to the Sonoma County section, and you'll be able to check out the parcels. So this is what it's going to look like once you log on to bidforassets.com. They're going to have a section right here. Dates, deposit information, auctions, contact. Treasurer Tax Collector's Office of Sonoma County, California is offering 139 tax defaulted properties for auction online. Again, it starts on the 18th and it ends on the 21st. So this is a little asterisk right here. Closing times may vary. Check listings for details. This is true. How it works basically is they do what's called batches. So they'll start one batch, they'll run it for maybe 15 minutes or a half hour, then they'll move on to another batch, and they do that over a few different days, and that kind of allows you to bid in confidence. But again, you got to be careful because sometimes each parcel might only have a 5-minute window, unlike Wayne County, which gives you weeks. The same parcel is going to be open for auction. So again, it's important to understand how their auction works and then how to bid appropriately. At this auction, the deposit requirement is a single $5,000 deposit plus a $3,500, could you imagine? $35 processing fees required to participate in the auction. Your deposit must be received by Bid for Assets no later than 4 o'clock Tuesday, October 14th. Please make sure to make your deposit well in advance of the auction in order to ensure your eligibility to bid. I get calls still to this day. Shoot, dang it, I forgot to secure the deposit, or they thought they were okay. And by the way too, so let's say you go to the auction, you end up just walking away, you weren't able to bid on your properties. They're very, very good about getting you that money back quickly, usually within 3 to 5 days. Makes it nice, and then wham bam, thank you ma'am, right back in your account. Okay, here's our batches. Yeah, APNs. So what you do is you click on one of these batches. It's going to give you a drop down menu, or actually this is the drop down menu, that's correct. Yeah, click right here. Here's the parcel. Boom, it's going to throw you into this page right here. So here's a parcel that's available, coming up for sale in Sonoma County, Railroad Avenue. Actually, I don't know if this was the one that I did, if I switched it around. Minimum bid of $12,000, but I will show you. Yeah, this is the right one. Cool. Deposit required $5,000. Minimum bid is $11,000. Oh yeah, so this is a 5-minute auction, so be aware of that. Okay. And here's the okay, so we did a different one. The one below it was this property right here, 7631 Bately Court, Sebastopol, California. Welcome to California, guys, by the way. This just shows you every market is a beast. Every market's going to be different. This is a 3-bed, 2-bath, 2,500 square foot. I mean, this sucker doesn't even look attractive, but Zillow's telling us that this bad boy's worth $655,000. We'll do some research in the county records. The standard you usually want to go off of, especially at least in a tax sale environment, is what's called the taxed assessed value. It's pretty close to a standard. Again, every market's going to be different, so again, you want to make sure you get to know that market. And Zillow's not the King Kong. Trust me. This same house out here in Utah and Salt Lake, you're probably looking at 150 to 190, and then California, obviously, everybody knows where they're at. Okay, so here's an example for you. Here's some of the additional bidding types. I wanted to run through these really quick. This is called the struck off list. I hinted on them earlier. Our OTCs represent a certificate that did not sell at the live auction or as a result of a bid or walkaway. In many states, when certificates don't sell, it is struck off to the county. And the county has a list in their office, like we talked about. You can call, you can request it, or you can log on to Tax Sale Investors, download it yourself, and you can purchase these either online, via mail, any need for travel, no need for travel, and there's no restrictions. Okay, so keep in mind, I hinted on this the other day. They're not purchased for a reason, guys. So understand there's some qualms there, there's some hiccups there. Just know that these are for one reason or another. They didn't sell at the auction. So again, this is where this is where the magic happens. Is when you're able to find like the good deals within the county. Okay. I wanted to talk about risks or drawbacks of investing in tax liens and tax deeds. Real estate as a whole can take time to liquidate. This will also vary depending on the price you're offering in relationships to its market value. So remember, stay within your thresholds. My thresholds that I follow, again, I try to stay within, if the opening bid needs to be within 10 to 15% of the tax assessed value. If the opening bid is above that threshold, I move on to the next parcel. I'm not going to get emotional. That's one of the biggest things I see my students and my clients run into is getting emotional over stuff. You guys, you can't. There's no reason. This is a business. Treat it like a business and it'll reward you like a business. I sound like my grandfather. Time. Tax and certificates are not for those seeking instant gratification, as a redemption period has to pass in order to obtain ownership or to get your return. And right now, guys, I'm not going to sit out there and tell you it's just cherry and that there's no competition, because there is. But again, everything is changing. More and more counties are coming online. More and more people are becoming aware of it. But that also means that there's more and more opportunity out there. Some more desirable markets, you're looking at hedge funds, institutional buyers, and you're looking at some foreign money coming into the states as well. Sometimes I'm seeing a lot of Chinese holding companies sometimes coming in, or hedge funds that I'm bidding against. So again, I don't want to discourage you, but again, risks and drawbacks, just know what they are. We will help you eliminate as many risks as we can as we go through this, but more importantly, rock and roll. Have fun with it. Because I believe if you're not having fun doing what you're doing, what in the hell are you doing it? But that's just me. Okay, guys, so here's the drop. You ready? This is where I get the stink eye from a few people in my live events, but I also know that what I'm providing and what I provide for my students is amazing. Number one, but number two, it is well below anything that my competitors or anybody else out there that is charging. So I have two options for you. Now, everything that we talked about is included with it as well. Cool thing is that I don't limit any of my students. Whatever works for you, works for you. So obviously, it seems like a no-brainer. You want to go for the 348 for 12 months. That's the best bet for you. But if you can't quite do that, do the $199 startup fee with a $29 a month recurring every single month after that. Cancel anytime. There's no contracts. That's the cool thing about that one. Again, I don't lose subscribers. I love my clients. I love my students. And when you call the phone, more likely than not, myself or my partner Brian will answer, and we'll definitely take care of you. So again, $29 a month at $199 startup fee, or you can just do $348 for the year. So what you get basically for the membership. Membership includes weekly training webinars. Okay, this is where the value comes from for me and a lot of my students is, again, if you can't make my webinars live, that's okay. I will record them, and I do make them available on the website for replay later. But it does follow the auction calendar. Every week we'll spend some time talking about our hot lists of upcoming properties that are or upcoming auctions, and then we'll spend some time as a class going through analyzing the deals, and then we talk about some of the recent auctions that have happened, what we could have done different, and really kind of helping you dial in your investor profile, what it is that you want to do. A lot of my students come in and say, I don't want to do property acquisition, I just want to do tax liens. And then what happens is they realize, oh, well, I like the returns. I do live in Florida. I have these properties that I can acquire and I can sell quickly. And then also, we have pre and post auction online auctions. You'll get your very own username and password within 24 hours. Again, we've got the auction calendar, tax sale lists in all 50 states, our investor education center, state-by-state profile map, hotline support, phone and email, and again, acquisition assistance. So again, shoot me an email at skyler@taxsaleinvestors.com, or just give us a call. Pick up the phone, 855-44-TAX-SALE. So again, $348 annual membership or a $199 activation fee with a $29 a month subscription fee each month. And where was that? Oh, here we go. You guys, that was it. We're pretty much done tonight. So that was getting started with tax sales. As a little bonus here tonight, feel free to check out, like I said, the Education Center. I've opened it up for you. Check out the state profile map. Go to taxsaleinvestors.com/education. This is where, again, click on the map. It's interactive. This one, click on Texas. Tells you it's a redemption deed state. Tells you it's 25% interest rate of return. The redemption period, 6 months to 2 years, is going to be contingent on the homestead status. Also, this needs to say 25 to 50%. And then I give a profile description of the state, how it works, and what to expect. So again, I appreciate everybody coming out tonight. Looking forward to the calls. Looking forward to working with you. Like I said, if you have questions, if you're just getting new, or if you're just getting started with tax sales, we love newbies. Give us a call. Be more than happy to help you delegate, what's going to be the best bet for you. And it's more than what you have in your bank account. I can't stretch that. You guys understand. If you have a limited bank account, we can show you how to grow that. Yes, you can flip liens. I'll show you how to do that if you have questions on that. But again, appreciate your time. Appreciate you coming out. Call us 855 or 844 855-44 tax sale. Again, 855-44 tax sale, or just visit our site at taxsaleinvestors.com. Look forward to seeing you all next week. By the way, if you made it 46 minutes, congratulations. I am going to be doing another webinar next week. I'll blast it out on YouTube. I'll get you in a drip campaign, guys. I appreciate you. Make sure you call our office. I'm looking forward to talking to you. Have a great night.